Hey guys, Jay Funk here, and today I want to talk to you about Horrific Visions, which are a major piece of new content coming out in 8.3. Now, first of all, how do you unlock visions? You have to do the intro quest line for the patch, and at the end of the quest line, you'll unlock Horrific Visions. And then once you've unlocked them, you can queue up for them in the Heartforge. You can queue up from 1 to 5 players, and once you queue up, you'll enter this preparation room where Rathion is, and you can speak to Rathion in order to open up the vision map, in order to, if you want to plan your route before you enter the vision. But you can also have the option to enter the vision itself using a vessel of Horrific Visions, and you'll notice that there are these 5 altars around the room. Now, these altars will be unlocked later once you have successfully completed an entire vision, including the side areas. These masks increase the damage and health of all enemies by 20%, but also increase the amount of currency that you earn at the end of this, the corrupted memento currency, by 20% as well. In addition, each of these masks has a unique effect that will make the vision harder. So if you want difficulty in your visions, you can just activate those masks over time. This will ensure that the visions stay relevant content and kind of hard as you go over time, because simultaneously there is an upgrade system for the Horrific Visions, which makes you stronger and stronger while you're in Horrific Visions, which means like more sanity, like haste when things die, even like treasure chests will spawn sometimes as well. That's pretty cool. But you'll see that there's 2 Horrific Visions. There's Stormwind and Orgrimmar, and there are these side areas, and each side area has a madness associated with it, and the madness is usually has a positive and negative effect associated with it. Like, for example, for Desynchronized here, it gives you the Elisand effect from Nighthold, where it'll speed you up very fast, but then slow you down as well. But you have to play around the fact that you're going to be fast sometimes. Now, this is my character's first vision, and because I don't have any of these upgrades, I don't have any way to restore my sanity. So I should probably just go directly to the boss. So when you spawn into a vision in Orgrimmar or Stormwind, the boss, you spawn in like the boss quadrant, so you can just go directly to the end of the vision and kill the boss and just exit if you just want to get your weekly reward. But there's more rewards to be gained if you go into the side areas and clear them out. But since this is my first vision, I should just, if you do your first vision, you should go directly to the end, I think, just because it's very hard to actually clear up the vision without that, without all these upgrades and stuff. Like the first upgrade that you get gives you this ability that has 3 charges, which is an orb you can place that will restore your sanity by 10% per second. You can only place this orb down if you're out of combat, but it gives you a way to restore your sanity. And your sanity in visions is kind of like a second health bar, kind of. If it hits 0, you lose the vision because you go insane. If you die, you also lose. But to win, ideally, like a perfect vision would be that you clear every side area, and then you go to the last boss and you kill the last boss. And once you do that, you're teleported out of the vision into this treasure room. Like you're teleported back to the preparation room, but there'll be chests on the ground as well. So you get 1 big chest for just successfully completing the vision, and you get 1 chest per side area that you complete. So there's a lot of reward to be gained by going into these side areas if you can manage to clear them successfully. But you have to be careful. Now I want to talk about how easy these visions are. So initially I think this vision can be, there's a slight difficulty spike once you don't have any of these upgrades, but once you get some upgrades, these visions will start to become easier and easier. Additionally, I think these visions are much easier if you have a full group of players, of 5 players, because you're able to play the visions kind of like island expeditions, where at the start of the vision you'll have everyone mount up, and then you'll just gather up all the mobs in your section that you're in, and then you'll just AoE them down, and then you'll use an orb to restore your sanity and go to the next section. You'll see this here. This is later on. This is the Orgrimmar vision. I have 2 players in my group now. So what we do at the start of the vision, we just mount up. We aggro as many mobs as possible on purpose, and then we just beeline directly for the entrance to the next section. And now each section has these bonus objectives that you have to complete in order to complete the side section. So you want to make sure that you're doing those while simultaneously gathering up all these mobs. Now you do have to be careful though. This isn't just face roll, because a lot of these mobs have abilities that are dangerous that will stun you or do a lot of damage, and you can be caught off guard early on if you don't know the abilities and just die. But I think if you're a relatively geared character going into this, you're probably not going to have too much trouble if you're in a group. I think for a group comp, I would recommend having one tank, 4 DPS, and ideally the DPS you bring would have good self-healing and AoE, but you can easily substitute a healer for a DPS if you want to make it safer, or you don't have the required classes in order to do that. But in terms of how many visions can you do per day, so this content is somewhat limited. You can only do it about 2 to 3 times per week. Now, when I first started on the PTR, I ended up with 4 vessels after the intro sequence that we completed. But I suspect that per week that'll be much lower. So once you complete your weekly N'Zoth Assault quest, in the chest that you get from that is a guaranteed vessel, so you can complete at least one, and you need to complete at least one of these per week in order to upgrade your legendary cloak. But if you do everything, I'd imagine, if you do everything, which means all the dailies and everything, you could probably get a second or even maybe even third, but probably safely second vessel to do 2 of these a week. Now for rewards, from the chest, the main benefit of doing this is that Wrathion will give you a quest, which gives you, if you complete a vision and you just get the one chest at the end, do the one boss, you'll get the upgrade for your legendary cloak, and you can do this once per week, I believe. And you can get your levels on your legendary cloak. Additionally, it'll give you progress towards some of the new essences. I believe there's one new essence that's located in specifically visions once you complete them. On top of that, you'll also get gear, and depending on how many side areas you complete, the item level of the gear will be higher. I believe that goes up to 470. So if you do this visions, you can actually get very high item level gear from these visions. So if you're trying to gear out at the start of the patch, it can be kind of useful. But overall, I think visions are a pretty solid addition to World of Warcraft. I am excited for it. I wish we could do these more often, but I understand why. It would kind of make them less special. But I am overall very excited for visions. And yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for me for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, let me know down in the comments below. If you didn't like it, let me know as well. And I'll see you guys in the